It's a record-setting win for the Utah Hockey Club. Robyn and I break it down next on the Locked On Utah Hockey Club podcast.
You are Locked On Utah Hockey Club, your daily podcast on the Utah Hockey Club, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on the Locked On Utah Hockey Club podcast. We appreciate you making us your first listen every single day when it comes to all things UHC. I'm veteran NHL voice Tom Callahan, joined by longtime team analyst Robyn Leaño, and together we are the dynamic duo that loves to chat Utah Hockey Club with you. And Robyn, this hockey team put up numbers, a historic, record-setting, unprecedented, I'm going to run out of superlatives, win 7-1 over the Seattle Kraken. And honestly, it could have been worse. I think they called off the Dogs in the third period.
Yeah, and I'll say this as to start off with. I think there really could be one word to describe how this game went for the Utah Hockey Club, and that's just domination. Utah was just straight up the absolute better team in this in this game, and it doesn't take a special stats person to look at. And we're going to take a look at stats in a little bit, even just basic stats. But eye test, you could just see Utah was absolutely flying everywhere, and it was nice to see. It was nice to see all that happen, especially as the season winds down. And Utah still technically fighting for a playoff spot. They haven't hit that tragic number yet. They still, again, that tragic number is 1, which means just 1 point and they're out. Which means that Minnesota
hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened yet. Minnesota actually gets a point on today's game, whatever they have game they have today. Then Utah's out. But hey, it wasn't because of what Utah did.
Well, it was earlier in the season, but in this game, absolutely not. And Robyn, I think my favorite nugget coming out of this game, and I mean, we normally go through the scoring summary. It's pretty vast, but my favorite nugget has got to be 7 different players scoring the 7 goals in a 7-1 win. I love that.
Oh yeah, it just really shows that this team has the talent and has the scoring depth. I mean, we've had a lot of concerns in the past. We're like, oh wait, where is the scoring variety? Where is everyone else coming from? Is it just the same old, guys in the troop every single night? We need some more variety if this team wants to compete for a playoff spot and actually be more to be a more competitive team and actually be in and day out. And we got a chance to finally see that.
Looking at the first period scoring, first of all, they kick it off 2:44 in. I love an early goal, and Mikhail Sergachev takes a shot, goes off a Kraken defender, beats Joey Decord, and it was a long night for Joey Decord.
Oh, yeah.
But here's Robyn, talking about the 3-goal first period. What happens is that Brandon Montour goes off for tripping, and then 8 seconds later, Alexiak takes a double minor for high sticking. So 5-on-3 power play. They were all over Seattle to begin with. And I think if Utah doesn't take advantage of this, you say, they're still not there yet with special teams. Mm-hmm. They're squandering a big opportunity. Not only do they score once, they score twice. So Keller scores in the 5-on-3, and then Yamamoto gets one later in the 5-on-4 on the back half of that Alexiak double minor. And now it's 3-0 heading into the room, and it looks fantastic setup for the rest of the game.
Oh, absolutely. And that's kind of what made us feel a little better. I think, earlier in the season, Tom, you talked about the inconsistencies on special teams, that even the power play was being extremely lackluster. And this is a game in which they weren't, right? It's a game in which they actually showcased the fight in them. And I mean, let's be real. I mean, I feel like there was it felt like a night and day difference. Two different whole style of team out there. you had a Utah team that still wanted to fight for every little shot they could, and a Seattle team that just straight out looked defeated.
They did. They and then if there was any chance of them fighting their way back in the second period, 16 seconds in, Logan Krause scores an unassisted goal, and you could feel the air go out of the Kraken bench at that point. They give up 3 more in the period. Cooley, Schmaltz, and Carconi. Another one of those was a power play goal. So how about that for an amazing night on the power play for the Utah Hockey Club? Brilliant. 3 power play goals. I'll take it. That's fantastic. I love it. And in the third, they finally switched it. I don't know why it took him so long to take Decord out, but it did. He comes out for the third period. They score a power play goal, Jared McCann, 23 seconds in, but that was it. It's largely ceremonial, and the game kind of developed into a slog from there. But, I mean, Robyn, from the get-go, I said it in the pregame episode, this is a team you should still beat, whether you're in the playoffs or not. This is a team you have to be better than, and they definitely were tonight.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of maybe the like some of the message going off down, across. And yeah, this team probably still wants to fight like they still have a shot to make the playoffs, but at the same time, it's beat the teams you should beat no matter what, and prove that you really did have the potential to make the playoffs. That you really didn't go out without a fight. That you're going to go out and win every game you can,
and in front of your home fans, right? I mean, that's the other thing. How about Delta Center's turning it into a hard place to play? I like that.
It's funny because you and I were talking about. I mean, Delta Center's been great all season, right? But you and I were talking about how Utah's been a much better team on the road than at home. But now I think we're not necessarily seeing a flip, but now what we're seeing is that because, as you mentioned, Delta Center has become a harder place to play. These opponents just can't, like you said, they just cannot, put their best foot forward when it's just so loud and just so hostile.
Yeah, it really is. It's a difficult environment, and when it is loud, and it was rocking on multiple occasions. The fans were into it. They loved it. I love seeing a bunch of kids at the game and families, and so that's also fantastic and very encouraging. But
by the way, you want to know one of my favorite sights at Delta Center lately is seeing the fans with vegetable heads. At first, it was I think it was just broccoli, and now I think, what were some of the other ones I saw this night? Was it? I think I saw a corn head in there too.
Okay.
Trying to think of some of the other ones in there, but seeing some vegetable heads. I did see more broccoli again, but putting out
broccoli
this support
seems like the obvious one, right?
Yeah, broccoli is the obvious one. It's the easy one because that's what everyone assumes. That's what everyone tends to associate with vegetables.
You know what? I think I would go with cauliflower because it's classic, it's white, and it would work with the uniform, right?
Okay.
So you can wear the white jersey or the black jersey and still have your cauliflower on, and the cauliflower is white, and it goes with anything. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I will say the first time I saw the broccoli head, it went over my head for a second, for like the first 2 seconds, and I'm like, that's odd. And I'm like, oh wait, yeah, okay, veggie, I get it.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, Robyn, I'm curious to know what all of our listeners and our viewers, which vegetable they would pick. And I'm going to give you a couple of words of warning. Number one, tomato is a fruit. And number two, a potato is a tuber, not really a vegetable. So even though they get lumped in there sometimes. So anyway,
all right, that's a technicality.
Yeah, well, so it happens when you're Irish. You take your potatoes seriously. You know what? I'll tell you what, I kind of want to get into the math a little bit about the record-setting win. I want to go over the stats as well with you, Robyn, but and getting into talking about the offensive output and some of the individual efforts that we saw tonight. So let's get to that here in just a sec. And the show's brought to you in part by Wonderful Pistachios. Are you looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help you keep feeling fuller longer. I am a big no shells guy. Like we've discussed this, and I'm telling you, if you're look, I don't mind if you're a classic in shell person, but just go no shells one time. Just try it. Just humor me. Try it. Let me know what your experience is, because I was always a shells person. But then I realized when I'm sitting at my desk at work, or especially when I'm driving, if you've got a long drive or a longer commute, sometimes you get a little you need to just bust into the bag and grab a quick handful. Way easier without the shells. But look, if you're a in-shell person, classic, I get it. So whether you're running between meetings, maybe you're dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that works as hard as you do. So get snacking and get cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño here with you. Thank you so much for being a part of this Locked On Utah Hockey Club podcast. We want you to be a part of every single episode, just like our everydayers are. They wake up, they grab the pod, they listen, they watch. You can do the same thing just by subscribing. It don't cost you nothing. Just click. Just set it up. It'll download into your inbox or however you get your podcast. We are available pretty much everywhere you can get a podcast, on just about every streaming platform there is. And plus, of course, the YouTube show. And if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to give us the thumbs up, because that also helps us with the algorithm and helps you find more great hockey content, just like this show, like our Locked On National show, which is always phenomenal. And of course, we do our Locked On Squads that we post once a week here on the channel as well, talking a little more national flavor for an overview of what's going on. So, Robyn, let's take a quick look at the stats from this one. And I just wanted to ask you here, first of all, with Utah out shooting Seattle 41-19, I think that's the obvious one. But does anything else grab you here about the stats, in particular, knowing the final score was 7-1 for the Utah Hockey Club?
I think the one of the interesting things for me that I want to put out there, I mean, you could take this anyway, and maybe I'm looking at it differently, but looking on the Seattle side, taking a look at the amount of giveaways they had in this game versus Utah's giveaway takeaway. 21 giveaways for Seattle, and that versus 12 for Utah and four takeaways.
That's a nice low number for Utah. First of all, 12 giveaways.
I know
that is a nice low number,
especially with how Utah has been in the past. With, as we said, just the stretch passes that make our eyes roll.
Stretch up the middle, cross ice, right through 3 opposing jerseys. Yeah. No, that is good to see. It means they're managing the puck much better. So that is a great one to point out. But man, the shots too. Sometimes shots don't indicate the way a game goes. This one, it definitely did. First period was 15-4. Then it was 14-7. Then it was 12-8. At no point did I feel like Seattle was in this hockey game, which is, I know they went back to back. And again, I don't know why they left Joey Daccord out there so long. They got in at 3 a.m. They went to their hotel. Then they throw Daccord out there to start again. He clearly, I don't want to say he didn't have it, because he was getting no help. There was zero help for him in front of his net. There were rebound chances. Utah Hockey Club players they were chilling. Seriously, I thought they were just going to hang out on lounge chairs because they had all the time and space they wanted. Nobody pressured them. This was an easy game for Utah, and that is very not the way Seattle wants to play. So
you make a good point, because one of the things that honestly now I want to take a look at as an after effect after we finish recording, Tom, is taking a look at what percentage of their shots, and then maybe even a little more so of their total Corsi for Utah are high danger. Because I feel like every single shot they had was pretty practically in in the high danger slot area. Like, it just seemed that they were Seattle just let them walk in. Like, they had all the good shots you can get.
And to your point about the giveaways, they were low giveaways. So either Utah did an incredible job of managing the puck, or Seattle was terrible at defending their own end, or maybe it was a mix of both, right? I mean, Utah can sharpen its game and do really well in that department. Maybe that's what they did there. So I think that those are important stats to take out of this one, and encouraging stats to take out of this one as well. So a couple of games to highlight, couple of 3-point efforts. Sergachev, who had the first goal, also had 2 assists for a +3. So good for him. Dylan Gunther, 3 helpers tonight. Good to see that out of him. And hey, my boy Kevin Stenlund had 2 assists. Logan Cooley, goal and 2 assists. Clayton Keller, goal and an assist. So a lot of multi-point efforts. But again, the scoring was so spread out tonight, Robyn. And that is really one of the more encouraging things for me, is to see 7 different names on that score sheet, including, by the way, Kyler Yamamoto's got 2 now. Doesn't look too bad out there to me. Kind of looks like, and oh my goodness, that poor kid's lip. If you didn't see it, it's probably posted on social somewhere, or maybe you can go back and check the broadcast. Oh, Robyn, I felt so bad. That thing's going to be the size of the Goodyear blimp tomorrow morning.
That blood stuck around for a solid extra, for through the rest of the game.
They had to keep trying to close him up and keep him from leaking, because he had to keep coming back off the ice, and it just kept opening itself back up. And that was that was an earned 4-minute double minor for high sticking.
Like if there was a call that went that was definitely right on making sure that's an example of when the call is done right. Making sure, especially because you just want to make sure, hey, like I said, you got that blood drawn, and it was like, that could have been easily avoidable for the offending player. They could have yeah.
That was Alexiak that got him, and man, he got him good.
Oh,
and maybe he puts a bubble on, maybe he puts a cage on, but I will say this: Dylan Gunther's been playing with the bubble, and he's been just fine. It doesn't look like it's affected him at all.
I know a lot of players after a while will play up the bubble. But what's interesting? You make a good point. I'm trying to think of it. So I've been seeing a little bit less of full cages lately, and seeing more bubbles when it comes to players who have gotten a puck or a stick or whatever to the face.
I think it's just got to be, honestly, it's personal preference. Some guys don't like the bubble because the bubble can fog up. So I guess if you can defeat the fog, then maybe they prefer having a windshield as opposed to a wire screen.
Fun fact, Tom, I'll let you know. I went from a full cage to a bubble, back to a full cage, and now I'm on a hybrid, like half visor, half cage in the bottom. Now that's what I'm sticking with. It's a lot easier. But
okay, so let me ask you then, because I know we got a lot of folks who listen to the podcast and they have kids who play, or maybe they themselves as adults play, and maybe they're considering the half bubble, the hybrid, as you call it. So what are the benefits? What do you like about it?
So to me, I got the benefits of the bubble, in which I got full vision of the ice. Because to me, I'm someone who, like, even though I loved the airflow of the cage, I hated the bars. Like, to me, I felt like the bars obstructed my vision. It made me look down too much. When I got the half, and I at least got a visor, the clear visor, I got the airflow of the cage. But because I had the clear vision, I actually got my eyes to look up a lot more, because I had wider range and wider vision. And because the specific brand that I got, it cuts up at the nose, so it does not fog.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That's nice. That's actually pretty good. Back in the day, we used to try the little wax sticks on our
and even if if the visor itself, the visor portion gets damaged, you can actually just replace that. You don't have to replace the whole unit.
That's also nice. As long as they keep making that particular visor anyway.
Exactly.
If they ever stop making that visor, you're going to have to stock up. So, all right. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the efforts out of the Utah Hockey Club players. And again, we're going to get into the playoff math. They are staying alive. Cue up your BGs at home if you want to dance along with us, because Utah Hockey Club is, well, still alive in the playoff chase.
Do you have trouble sleeping? If so, you're not alone. That used to be me, lacking rest, tossing and turning. I was late for meetings. I never felt like myself. That's until I found Bare Mattress. Bare Mattress and their sleep recovery technology helped me fall asleep faster, as well as enjoy deeper sleeps. I felt like myself again, and you can too. Bare Mattress knows that every sleeper is different. That's why they have their sleep quiz on their website that finds you your perfect match. As a side sleeper, I matched with the Elite Hybrid mattress, and I've been telling everyone in my life they have to try Bare Mattress risk-free. You can sleep on your Bare Mattress up to 120 nights, and if you're not getting the best sleep of your life, you can get it refunded. They'll pick it up with absolutely no hassle. So go to bearmattress.com and use my promo code LOCKEDONNHL at checkout to get 40% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. You have to use my promo code on the very last page of checkout to get this discount. That's bearmattress.com. Use my promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 40% off site-wide. Bearmattress.com, promo code LOCKEDONNHL.
Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño back here with you to wrap things up here. And thank you so much for sticking with us here. And again, being a part of the show. Whether or not Utah Hockey Club manages to find a way to continue staying alive down the stretch here. Robyn and I have some great content planned for you, including some deep dives into the offseason as well. So, hey, don't think when the team plays its last game, whenever that is, that we're turning out the lights and going away for the summer. We're going to stick around. We've got a bunch of things we're going to go over. There's free agency. There's the draft. We're going to give you report card grades. I saw Robyn actually sharpening pencils and getting highlighters. And there might have even been a trapper keeper there. Robyn, do you have a trapper keeper?
Sure.
How do you not have a trapper keeper? Like, okay, here we go. If you're on YouTube, you're going to appreciate this. Ready? I mean, how do you not have a trapper keeper? Like, this is the most 80s thing ever all time, and I have to have one. So that's my trapper keeper. I keep it right under my desk here.
All I'll say is the offseason is going to be a perfect opportunity to allow my my inner advanced stats nerd come out.
That'll be fun. You're really going to be able to, I think, educate a lot of folks on some of those deep dives, and I'm looking forward to those as well. And as you mentioned, even looking forward to, after we have some breathing room on this game, kind of looking back at the advanced stats, maybe that's something we can get into, with folks who are interested in a little deeper dive. In fact, down there in the comments, let us know, do you want the deeper dive stuff? And if so, do you have anything specific that you would like us to dive into?
Yeah, if like maybe you spend some time on like subreddits or other hockey forums, and someone mentions a very specific advanced stat, a very specific or just stat in general that you've never heard of, that you tried to look at but couldn't quite understand. You want to ask us? We're totally up for it.
We always like suggestions. Well, most of them anyway. But so. Robyn, here's the wild card math right now. We know that the tragic number is still 1, but Utah Hockey Club has won its last 2 games. They have one more game at home against the Nashville Predators. And again, this is a team that you got to take care of business against. They took care of Seattle. Seattle is 10 points in front of Nashville. I expect them to take care of Nashville, but St. Louis at 93, Minnesota at 91. The gap down to Calgary is 87 as of Thursday morning, which is Wednesday morning, which is probably when most of you are hearing this show. And Vancouver at 85. And Utah's down to just 4 games left. That's the other crazy thing. We're almost completely out of real estate in the regular season. There's 4 games left to go.
It's amazing. Where did all this time go?
It flew. It absolutely flew by. But they're still there to still be in it with 4 games to go. And quite honestly, remember, I said I wanted to see them up at the 9 spot. There's a chance to get there. They can get into 10 with a point.
There very much is.
Falters,
but
and 3 points.
I will also add this too, as another thing in time, and even like again, knowing it's 99.99% chance this team's not making the playoffs. But to me, I think one of the cool things that I like to look at is taking a look at the growth of this squad over the year. And again, for those that are everydayers, know that I'm using the term squad because franchise is technically incorrect because Utah started in 2024. The Coyotes went dormant in 2024, but just took the players essentially. But if we still want to take a look at, because it's mainly the same players, the Arizona Coyotes ended last year, Tom, with 77 points. Where is Utah right now? 84 points.
Progress. Absolutely progress. And look, it is going to take every year, I think, going forward, 90 plus points to get in.
Yep.
I don't think it's a question. I think at the end of the day, 93 is probably going to be your minimum bar to get into the playoffs. And even if you look over in the East right now, 90 is where the Ottawa Senators are. The Montreal Canadiens are at 87. So, and they each have 4 games left to play. I would assume they're going to both get over 90, and they might even get to, Montreal might struggle to get to 92, 93, but they'll get over 90. And that's where the bar is. If you want to get in, that's what you have to be, as a 90 plus point team. And keep in mind, the best of the best, the creme de la creme, the
they're at
Washington,
100 plus.
Right. Winnipeg, Vegas, all over 100. The Jets are at 110. And they are right now on track for that President's Trophy.
Speaking of which, by the way, a little fun fact for everyone. I actually did look it up, that if the Winnipeg Jets are perfect through the remainder of the regular season, Connor Hellebuyck will actually, and Connor Hellebuyck gets all those wins, which assuming he will, they're not. Connor Hellebuyck will tie for number 1 on wins in a single season. And I said tie, which makes me think. Imagine if that does happen, but you think of the Jets' loss to Utah is the very reason that he doesn't, because because it is towards the end of the season, is the reason Hellebuyck doesn't claim number 1 on his own.
And it could be. It could very well be. That would be very interesting to see if that's.
And if that's. That makes me want to take a look at any other potential chaos agents I can throw for that Utah can cause.
I'm not going to lie to you, though, Robyn. I know you like your chaos agents. I just don't see Winnipeg playing him all those games down the stretch. I think they're going to rest him.
Fair.
Because they don't. Well, I mean, even within the conference, home ice overall. If you do get a Winnipeg Washington series, yes, it would matter. But they're 8 points clear of Vegas. Actually 7, because the VGK went to overtime. But I don't know. I think he'll get probably rest in at least 1, if not 2 of those games. But we'll see. You never know. I mean, at that point, if I'm the coach, I go to Connor Hellebuyck and I say, how many games do you want?
Yeah.
Like, what do you need? Do you want to start Tuesday and Saturday and call it good? What do you want? You tell me. And so that's how I manage that if I'm coaching Winnipeg.
I mean, that makes sense.
So whatever you need to get ready, great. It's kind of like the preseason. What do you need to get ready? You ask your quarterback, you ask your goaltender. How much do you need to see in actual game action to feel like you're ready to go once we get going in the regular season? So that's the important thing there. Robyn, we're looking forward now to Nashville on Thursday. Final regular season home game. Can you believe it?
It's amazing. Absolutely seeing all that. What's cool too is I saw from watching the television broadcast, and also from previous press releases out there, is after this final game of the home season, they will be giving awards out to the players for team awards, right? The most valuable player, what were some of the other names out there? Trying to think of some. They had some really interesting names for some of the awards, but they got some coming your way for those. And I know a lot of you guys probably have already been voting for your players.
And don't forget, we haven't even mentioned this, but Alex Kerfoot was nominated for the King Clancy Memorial Trophy.
Yes, that's right. He was.
So want to mention that last year, was it last year Connor Ingram won? Year before? Or no, he won the Masterton Trophy.
Yeah, he won the Masterton, and that was, I think it was last year.
Yes.
Because the previous year was went to oh man, I'm already blanking on his name. Pittsburgh Penguin, who just dealt with a lot. I think dealt with cancer. But
well, I know it's not Crosby. Was that Letang who had to go through
yes,
that?
it was Chris Letang.
I was trying to dust the cobwebs off of that part. I don't pay much attention to the East, but I do remember hearing something about that. So that one, that makes sense as well. But so the King Clancy Memorial Trophy is basically each team nominates a player, and it is the NHL's Community Service Award.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's interesting because there's that one as a community service one, but then there's also like the impact on the community award, right? Which is like the really the Willie O'Ree Community Award. There's a lot of ones that are community based, but King Clancy is the oldest of the community based awards.
Yes, so that is absolutely fantastic to know that Alex Kerfoot. Congratulations on your nomination, first of all, and second of all, we wish you the best of luck, and hope he's able to bring home some hardware. Rob and I have one more little nugget I want to drop before we wrap the show. And the announcement came down on Tuesday that to celebrate the Utah Hockey Club's first season in Utah, the organization is offering free inaugural season patches. They'll be available before the game on the 10th during the final 2 home games of the regular season. So it was available at Tuesday's game and now Thursday against the Preds. Free inaugural season patches.
Is that in store or is that also included?
That's at the arena. It doesn't say where they're giving them out. Oh, it says supporters are encouraged to bring or wear items they want to customize to Delta Center Tuesday and Thursday. So they're going to heat press the patches on what you bring them.
Okay. See, that makes sense. But that's cool though. Yeah, for all those who are listening that want to get an inaugural patch on your jersey, on your sweatshirt, or your whatever, on your hat.
And of course, subject to availability.
Of course. But it did remind me, I still need to get a 91 Sparkles Utah Hockey Club jersey.
Yes. Well, maybe there'll be a summer sale. Are you going to get a Utah one, or are you going to wait to see if they're the Mammoth Yeti Outlaws?
I mean, it's going to be the same color, and so I think I'll wait just because, like,
I'm a year one person. I would want the year one jersey. I want the one that says Utah.
I get it. Then at this point, I'm just spending too much money on jerseys. Then I want to get a new one. I'm always want the newer one. I also do want the more older ones than the original ones. Like I think I have stored somewhere, not wanting to take out because I just wanted to keep it safe. But a year one San Jose Sharks jersey. So
okay, nice. That's a classic right there. That's a keeper.
Oh yeah.
So man, one day I will go through some of my jersey collection, which by the way, I'm going to start to actually whittle down here very soon, but I've got some beauties.
I'm only getting more now that I play. I get like one or two or three every single season, depending on how many tournaments I play in.
Gonna have a wall of jerseys soon.
Yeah. I'm gonna at this point might as well just like showcase all my jerseys behind me, just like the hockey guy does.
Why not? Why wouldn't you? That'd be fun. We'll just have to figure out how we're going to display them best so that they show them off properly. So
there we go.
But yeah, and you can rotate them. So, all right. Well, if anybody has any questions for us, want to reach out, want to comment, any of that stuff, Robyn, where can folks reach us on social media?
Yeah, on social media, you can find us just about everywhere on social media. Mainly active on the app formerly known as Twitter, now known as X. That's LO_NHL Utah. You can also leave us a comment on YouTube. We respond to our YouTube comments almost daily, or at least interact with our YouTube comments daily. You can find me personally at also on X at Robyn_Leaño, Robyn with a Y _Leano. Also on Blue Sky, not as active there yet, but I'm there at Robyn Ice Time.
I'm over on Blue Sky at Tom Talks. You can grab me there 99% of the time. I do still monitor the old Twitter at Callahan on air. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, tell your friends. For Robyn, I'm Tom. Thanks for being a part of the Locked On Utah Hockey Club podcast.